For those of you who don't know, the name Remy derives from the word reminisce, a name I gave myself after losing a dear friend of mine. It was a way I could remember him, but also leave that part of me behind. And lately, I've been doing a whole lot of reminiscing. TDX is simply not hitting the same as it once was. For me, TDX has simply grown way too big and fast to the point where it become unrecognizable to the game I'd originally fallen in love with. There are many points I can discuss regarding this change, but there's one big point in particular that I think a lot of my issues stem from, that being the grind. While that term is very broad, my specific gripe with it is that it has essentially sped up the burnout process.
Let me be clear.
It's no secret that TDX's gameplay loop centers around grinding, always has been, and for the most part, I actually didn't really mind that. When it comes to things I want to get done, I am a machine. That's just who I am. Play a mode on a certain map over and over again. It's that simple and mundane throughout all stages of the game and events. But what if I were to tell you that there was actually a time where grinding wasn't the main focus of TDX's gameplay loop? A time where the grind was secondary to having fun and enjoying the game's goofy mechanics. An era where I'd use random towers to solo expert, which was honestly the most fun I've had in TDX by far. And at this point, you've probably already put the pieces together that I'm specifically reminiscing about the beginning of TDX. A much simpler time where TDX's core values were put on full display. Militarized theming, multiple upgrade paths, heavy metal music, tower depths, and exhilarating boss battles. These features, while in their infant phase, had me in a chokehold. I was absolutely obsessed, even going as far as playing it over more developed, polished actual games. But of course, the priorities have since then been changed, and the grind has taken the reins of being TDX's main gameplay loop. It's not like those features have taken a backseat. If anything, they've gotten much better. The grind has simply become the primary focus. And again, it's not like I ever minded the grind, since at the end of the day, I knew I'd be spending more time with my reward than actually achieving it. However, nowadays, I feel as if even that has been completely flipped. And I know the real treasure is the friends we made along the way, but I genuinely feel uninterested in all the new so-called treasures. There are a lot of wacky, controversial reasons for why I think that, but I believe it can be mainly attested to my overwhelming burnout. I know I've said this a million times and even made a whole video about it, but I'm going to say it again. There were many great ideas and concepts TDX has had in the past that they just completely refused to use and polish in favor of newer, more ambitious ideas. And while I am totally all for it, each and every new update pushes me farther and farther away from what I originally enjoyed about TDX. Recent content has basically been boiled down to playing new game mode and unlocking whatever new thing has been released. That repetition, along with how grindy TDX's gameplay loop is, has resulted in the acceleration of the burnout process, making me lose all motivation to play the game more than I have to. Which sucks because I recall a time not too long ago where I'd much rather play a silly Lego game over a AAA one. a time where I'd be too embarrassed to tell my friends and family that the content I cover is about a niche Roblox game. Generally just having fun and pushing the limits of what I can accomplish. Nowadays, it seems that I have gone back to playing those same AAA games and forgetting that I even make content at all. Those times where I do self-imposed challenges have seemingly faded away. There was no longer any desire to go out of my way to entertain myself if I didn't have to. And while I unironically feel like Mert W saying this, I genuinely feel like there's nothing to do anymore. Yes, this can be traced back to me absolutely grinding and squeezing out everything TDX has to offer. However, it is also TDX's fault for centralizing their gameplay loop around grinding. So the big question ends up being, how can we solve this problem? And to that, I don't know. I'm not sure that TDX can ever make me feel the feelings I felt in the past, for it has grown way beyond that. Even after everything, we still see TDX aiming higher, entering Nightmare. But just because I stopped taking interest and enjoy playing TDX, that isn't necessarily going to be the case for everyone else. The game is constantly evolving and improving, adding a whole bunch of new and innovative ideas. So while my journey is slowly coming to an end, that doesn't mean that others shouldn't start theirs. If anything, new players' upcomings are bound to be better than mine, with all the new features and additions. So if there's anything to take away from this video, it is that my upbringing is a cautionary tale. And burnout is Is the grind still a big issue? Yes, absolutely. However, I can't think of a solution to make both players happy while retaining the player count. So that's where you guys come in. Leave what y'all think in the comment section below, and hopefully some devs will take notice. But other than that, I thank you all for watching until the end. It really means a lot. And until next time, Saltar. Actually, I think I may have an unorthodox solution. Gambling! RNG! Off-script from me here. Let's go through some of the range bullet points I set up. Point number 1, increased critical thinking. The enemies won't come out with their predictable wins. Players are forced to think on the fly. Which leads to my next point. Point number 2, it has a ton of variety until the enemies totally forgot about the RNG aspect. Different enemies will be able to make their debut and stuff, which add to the increased critical thinking. Players will have to find out these long forgotten Players have to find out these long-forgotten foes' weaknesses and act accordingly. Number 3, adding a blackjack table to the lobby and a map. This profound addition will give players a new way to increase their economy, both during games and smoothly leading to my 4th and final point. It will feel less repetitive because think about it. The RNG makes the gameplay feel. Think about it. The RNG makes the gameplay different each time and stuff. I totally vetted and fact-checked all and revised this whole part of the video. Please take it seriously. I love you.